great either, brother. Therapy Army, welcome to United Real Therapy. We've got a special guest on today. We've got our brother, the girl, big, massive gunner, Arsenal fan. We're going to be previewing Man UFC versus Arsenal. Gunners going for the title. I would like them to win the title because I'm sick of City doing what they're doing. I'd rather have an organic football club win the league than a plastic one. It is what it is. But big up to everybody. I wasn't even going to do this thing because I don't feel well. Yeah, I'm not feeling 100%. Hopefully, Bumbaye and the rest will jump on. But therapy, I mean, we're going to have to get into it because Igal has only got half an hour. But Igal, how you doing, brother? How you been?
Well, I'm good, bro. I'm chilling. Honestly, when it comes to Arsenal at this point, I'm just hoping and praying that Man City drop points. That's really where I'm sitting at. When it comes to Arsenal, I can't be upset. There's nothing to be upset about. If you're upset about Arsenal right now, then wallahi, you're lost as a fan. What can you be mad about? I think people are just, I don't know, man. There's just some people who are never satisfied. Do you believe there's people who still want the manager sacked? Unbelievable. Eh? I can't hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Yeah. So the manager's got you challenging from absolutely nowhere. You've become one of the best teams in the league. So I won't beat Arteta out. I think it's very difficult to beat Man City, the machine that they are, and Pep Guardiola and what's happening. So yeah, it's not an easy thing for Arsenal to overcome or to any team to overcome. I mean, you think about Liverpool. Liverpool have tried to stop them. The rest of the league have just been. Man City have turned the league, except Arsenal now and Liverpool, but the rest of it is turned the league into a pub league. If you want the honest truth.
To be fair, we replaced Liverpool's spot. We've replaced Liverpool. Going forward, we're going to be the team challenging, and I believe we're going to be there going forward for foreseeable future. It's just, Nadine, you know what the issue is? I feel like last year it was too early. The challenge was too early. We were not ready yet, right? We were excited. We were there, and you know when you're there and you're not supposed to be there, you think you can win it, even though you know there's problems, even though you know there's issues. You try to ignore it. You try to ignore all the issues, and you're like, you're hungry. You're just hungry. You're so hungry that you're ignoring all logic.
Yes.
This year, I feel like we deserve to be here. This
100%.
Year, I feel like we proved to everybody last year was not a fluke. This year, I feel like we're no longer looking for validation. I feel like everyone has given us what we deserve, but
facts.
But we don't deserve the league unless we get the most points. And Man City are just unbelievable. They just do enough to be better than everybody else. You win 17 in a row, they win 18 in a row.
This is the craziness. So that's what I'm saying to you. So it's difficult. So the idea that your manager on any other season, the point tally you're going to end up with was more than good enough to win the league.
87 points. That's what it's going to be.
So at the end of the day, in the past, before 20 years ago, you've won the league with less points than that.
Yeah, we won the league with 84 points once.
Yeah. So at the end of the day, it's tough to challenge the machine that's Man City, man. Listen, it's Dubai, mate. Dubai.
I have a take on this.
It's a state. It's a whole state, man.
I blame the world of football for always saying we don't care about City. You're gonna care about City when they win 15 more league titles and they're on the same level as Liverpool and Man City. Then are we gonna say they're a bigger club? Are we then gonna give them the respect they deserve? Bro, they've already overtaken Chelsea in trophies. Next is us.
Well, but there's a little old thing called 115. You know what I mean? 115 is the biggest elephant in the room, man.
I know, but
listen, at the end of the day, to me, I take it away from what the club did. I put it on the genius of Pep Guardiola and the City players and the football
and the City structure.
Yeah, and what they've done. But for Arsenal to challenge from me, from where you came from, where we were the two banter clubs, you are no longer have that tag anymore. Even though when people were saying you bottled it last season, I was like, nah, Arsenal weren't ready. Arsenal did remarkably well to
But you know
challenge
where it
last season.
starts? It started with we signed Ben White, you signed Varane. We signed Odegaard. Other people, who do they sign? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Our signings have been
No,
really
listen,
good.
we're a special case. Let's not get it twisted, Igal. The difference between Manchester United and Arsenal, we used to be the banter clubs because your owners didn't give a shit either.
To be fair,
And
you
then the
still
Super League happened. The Super League happened, right? Then your Kroenke bought out Usmanov. It took him 11 years to buy him out. He
Yep.
took full control after he took full control of the club. After the Super League, he got scared. Then he sent his son to do the business. And his son looks like he's got a bit of football or sport acumen, hired, you know, got rid of people that got you Nicolas Pepe and brought in Edu and these guys to do a proper job. And then you trust in a manager and you gave him the proper, and then you give him the power to clear out, you know, so there's a good connection between Edu and Arteta and the other people who are working backroom for Arsenal. That's why then to trust the trust that is in what do you call it? The trust that's in Arteta has come to fruition because we always knew Arteta, even when he came through the halfway season, when during the lockdown and you won the cup, you beat Chelsea and then City. No, you beat City, then Chelsea in the final. You could tell by the way he was coaching, the team was responding to how he wants to play. And everybody was like, yeah, he's a brilliant coach. So the trust that's been showing Arteta has proved, you know, to bear the fruits that Arsenal from nowhere are now replacing Liverpool to challenge regularly, challenging, you know, this season and last season. So what it's remarkable. It's been a remarkable journey to get here. I mean, as a United fan, I don't, you know, see me, I don't try to banter that much because my club plays against me every fucking weekend.
Yeah.
It plays against me every year, every season by the tomfoolery and just the amateurish bankers who were in charge of our football club. And this thing with Ineos and that, I have to wait and see. I'm the chairman, director, and wait and see FC. So I'm not here for all of this. You have to prove it to me. But we need to get rid of this manager, not because I am manager out, people, because structurally, the injuries or no injuries, the way he sets us up is fundamentally flawed for the Premier League. You can't play that football and expect to develop playing that football with Eric Ten Hag. Too many gaps. Structurally, systemically, the way he sets the team up is too flawed for this Premier League, and he's too stubborn to do anything about it. Yes, we've had injuries, but so's Newcastle, so's Brighton, so's Chelsea, so's Brentford. You know what I mean? So at the end of the day, I can miss me out with that. Eric Ten Hag needs to go because the way he sets us up on any given match day is flawed.
You're not going to hear me dispute that. I think Ten Hag has been horrific this season, and he's regressed. Your whole team has regressed, and he's a dead man walking. And guess what, Nardine? If you buy a company and if you buy a kitchen and your head chef is not that good, what are you going to do? You're going to replace him, right? So immediately, I think they're going to eventually replace the head chef, which is Ten Hag, and you're going to have to go get in a proper coach who can focus on a good structure, set up a good defense, and you guys could be back up there quite quickly. It just takes good recruitment, good work from the board, and a proper manager who can set you guys up well structurally.
Well, we need
Ten Hag,
coach.
He has no tactics. His tactics are bring on Scott McTominay and hope.
Yeah, no. This is being actually structurally the way it's even worse. Scott McTominay. But big up Jarvis, big up Bumbaye.
Big up.
Like I said, guys, I'm not feeling too great. We've got a special guest on tonight. We've got our brother Igal, big Arsenal fan. Make sure you check his channel out, people. He says at Igal TV, EGTV, Igal.
Igal talks about one speedily, you know what I mean?
Yeah, but I have to say it's a good channel. I watch it all sometimes, and being a Man United fan, it's actually a good content. So people check it out.
No, I appreciate it, Jarvis. Appreciate it.
Yeah. Big up, people. Let me just go through quickly and then we'll get into it because we only got you for half an hour. It says, Bruno Fernandes, Scott McTominay are back in contention for Manchester United. Rashford should be unavailable. Mason Mount misses again. He's injured. Arsenal have fitness concerns over Saka, Tomiyasu.
They're all fit.
They're both fit, yeah? Okay.
Yeah.
Match facts. Manchester United solitary defeat in their past 16 home league games against Arsenal was won in November 2020. I think that was the penalty. Was that the penalty?
Yep, the penalty from Aubameyang.
Yeah, Aubameyang. So we 22. So we won 10 and drawn 5. The Gunners won September's reverse fixture 3-1, a courtesy of stoppage time goal from Declan Rice and Gabriel Jesus. They complete the league double over United for the first time since 06-07. Arsenal last 6 league away wins versus Manchester United were all by 1-0 scoreline. Manchester United have been beaten in 18 of their 48 matches this season. They have lost 19 in a single campaign, 77-78. United are only 13 league defeats in their most season since 1989-90. They've lost 16 top flight games back then and finished 13th.
Bro, have you got any good news?
Outside the top 4. The Red still have conceded 81 goals in all competition, last letting in more in the season 1970-71, 82 goals. Eric Ten Hag's side have trailed for more minutes than they have led in the Premier League since.
Where are you reading this?
This is crazy. This season, this is all my research and stats. They could suffer a club record equaling 9th home defeat for the season for the first time in 50 years. Marcus Rashford has been involved in all 6 goals in the last 4 Premier League starts against Arsenal, scoring 4 and assisting 2. Arsenal could set an outright club record on Sunday, 27 wins in 38 match league season. They've only dropped points in 16 Premier League fixtures in 2004, came in a 1-1 draw. They only dropped points in 16 Premier League fixtures in 2024. And it came in a draw with Man City in March and a 2-0 home defeat versus Aston Villa last month. The Gunners are unbeaten in 8 away league games, winning 7 for the first time since the run of 12 in March of December 2016 under Arsene Wenger. Mikel Arteta's side have kept 10 clean sheets in top flight away matches this season and their most campaign since registering 13 shootouts in 1990-91. Arsenal have scored 88 goals this season, tally last better 60 years ago, finishing with 90. However, they've only won one of their 6 away league games in the current campaign against other teams currently in the top 8. 3-2 victory over Spurs in 28th of April. The Gunners have lost their final Premier League away fixtures 3 of the last 4 seasons without scoring. Saliba is one who's outfield player to play every Premier League fixture minute for his club this season alongside Wolves' Miles Kilperman. So yeah, he's been consistent. You've been consistent. But Igal, let's get into it quickly because I know you haven't got that much time. Your record at Old Trafford, it's bad.
Shocking.
It's really bad.
But what you have to look at it is our record at White Hart Lane or Tottenham Stadium has been bad too. But the last 2 years we beat them there.
Yeah,
I think this team, Man United, you guys struggled to score goals. Where the seasons prior, you guys played a counter-attacking team, a team that was more beneficial to how you could play against us. Where this team, I don't see you guys set up in a way that will actually hurt us. I find you guys are much more disorganized. We will be able to control the ball a little bit more, I think. And I'm not going to lie to you. I find that I thought this game was going to be harder than the Aston Villa game that we lost. So I'm not going to go into this game disrespectful, but at the same time, I expect my team to win convincingly. And if I don't see nothing more than a win, our season is on the line. Like, these players understand the severity of the situation, and your players, some of them look like they're on the beach. I don't know if the intensity levels are going to be there from your players. I don't know if they're going to run after loose balls. I don't know if they're going to go after every man. I don't know if they're going to get up for the rebound to try to save the second shot as much as they would at the beginning of the season. And I just think that's a fair analysis based on the performances I've been seeing from your team.
Yeah. The biggest thing for me is that Arsenal would have to definitely win, at least by 3 goals. And I think if you don't, then the way that we've been playing, then it absolutely shows that you've not had a good day at Old Trafford. I put on a title, then you're shit if you haven't scored. When Crystal Palace is banging in 4, then I don't.
What's the worst loss you had at home this season?
The worst loss at home this season?
It's a difficult question.
Oh, 3-0. 3-0. 3-0. We lost 3-0 to Bournemouth.
What did you lose to Man City?
At home, I don't remember. I think it might have been 3-0. I don't know what the score was. 3-1.
Yeah, I believe so.
Big up to Ben. Ben says, big up the panel, Free Palestine. Any plans for a calling show? Yeah, soon, bro. I'm just not being well, so I'm not well, actually. But yeah, you go. So in terms of Arsenal, you said that you definitely have to, for me, the boys have to come on show. Obviously,
100%.
Man City play tomorrow. Is that the early game tomorrow? Is that the early
kickoff? The 12:30 kickoff versus Fulham. And I just hope that they can pull it off. Fulham can do something for us. Because if Fulham pick up the points, we then have to win. Regardless, we have to beat you. Nardine, this is the first time in my lifetime I'm going to Old Trafford and I'm expecting a win minimum, or else I'm going to look at my team like I'm going into this game as if you guys are Burnley away almost. That's how I'm treating this, because the importance for what we need, it's no disrespect to you guys, it's just the importance level that we need. I'm viewing this game as a must win. And we're the favorites. We're the favorites. I'm looking at you guys. I'm not belittling your team, but I'm looking at your team and I'm saying there's a lot of holes in your squad that we can benefit from. And I don't know how you can hurt us defensively. We're one of the best defenses. So you guys struggle to score a goal. I think you're going to struggle to score a goal against us. I think we keep a clean sheet. And the way we try to beat you, let me know if this sounds like something that would work against you guys. What we do against majority teams is we let them have the ball high up the pitch. We pressure them into losing the ball from their defenders or their midfielders, and then then we have a 3-on-2 or 2-on-1, and we then score from that situation. It's happened numerous times. It happened against Tottenham this season with the counter. You've seen one ball over the top. Bukayo Saka skins Ben Davies. You guys seen it this season, even in the home game when we played you guys. Gabriel Jesus was free, basically skinned Della. I could see a similar situation where it's open, and people are saying it's arrogance. There's a difference between arrogance and confidence. If you were in my position, you'd say the exact same thing. Don't lie.
No. Listen, 100%. Arsenal have to go there on Sunday and put Manchester United to the sword. But history says it's a really difficult for you boys to think. But I just think tomorrow, for all the injuries and everything else, it just shows me that if Arsenal, like I said, do not get 3-0 at least or 3-1, then I think it's going to be a very.
This year we broke a lot of history though. We beat Man City for the first time in the league in nearly a decade. We beat Liverpool and went undefeated against both Liverpool and City in the league this season. If I'm not mistaken, we beat Tottenham at White Hart Lane for the second time in Arteta's reign, and the second time of this decade. Like, we don't usually beat Tottenham in White Hart Lane. And then what else is there? I'm trying to think of any other records that we broke. Champions League, we went past the round of 16 for the first time in a long time also. So it's like little things. We're making progress, but everyone just wants to see the Premier League or shut up. That's what Man City have done. They've ruined this Premier League, bro. The standards in order to win the league are higher than ever. It's mental. Even Sir Alex Ferguson's teams were never competing and getting 98 points, 99 points, 97 points every year. It's mental.
Yeah, no, 100%. So what kind of score you reckon tomorrow? What kind of score? Sorry, on Sunday. What kind of score are you thinking about on Sunday?
I'm going 2 or 3-0. We need to score. We need to score our goals and sit back and just defend.
And can you explain a little bit? I know you said that defensively you've been incredible. Like I said when I read that Saliba's played every minute this season for you.
Gabriel Magalhaes
and Saliba have been amazing. They've been an amazing partnership, and you've got the best defensive record, if I'm not mistaken, in the Premier League this season.
Yes. Guess what? Our defense can still be improved on. We don't have a solid left back choice that's been available all season. we've still been struggling to figure out who our left back is going to be. Ben White, Gabriel Magalhaes, and Saliba. I think Ben White's been one of the best right backs in the league. I think Saliba's been one of the best centre backs, and I think Gabriel Magalhaes has been our best centre back. Saliba gets a lot of the credit, but I think Gabriel Magalhaes has been our best centre back, and I think both of them have been better than Van Dijk. I think both of them have been better than any City defender. And our goalkeeper won the Golden Glove. He didn't really have to face too many shots. The way we do it is we make sure that our opponents are ushered to the wings, and when they cross balls in, we resort them to occupying areas where they can't hurt us. So we're going to push.
Staying with that, what would you say your style of play this season has been? What's been the main features other than your defense?
We are the kind of team where we will suffocate you when we have the ball in the final third, but when you have the ball, we will let you play around with it in areas where it can't hurt us. But once you get into like the final third, or you get into the wing areas and the half spaces, we'll take the ball off you and quickly counter. I think this team this season has been more defensive than offensive. Seriously, we play good football. Don't get me wrong, but we're more Arteta's style of management is more about focusing on your opponent's weaknesses and less about never changing and focusing on your own principles.
Okay.
So I would. Did I explain it properly? I don't know.
Yeah. You have. Yeah. No, you have. I remember last season you were just outscoring, blowing teams away, but you were conceding a lot, and that's what let you down at the end.
This season we're more. This season we're more Jose Mourinho than Pep.
Yeah. Well, no, but I actually think the way you press is really well. The way that, to me, Havertz has been incredible. Like,
Odegaard
obviously,
also.
He's been getting a lot of grief at the beginning, and Odegaard has been sensational for me. Player of the season for me personally. Like the stuff that he's been doing this season.
Foden.
Yeah, me personally, yeah. Because what the biggest thing why when I watch Arsenal is that I see him being able to go to the left back area, right back area. I've seen him sometimes getting the ball to two centre halves, and his level of comfortability on the ball and the technical ability to control the situation, it's incredible. And then to play up the pitch, go through the last thirds, the pass that he finds, the way he, the way he just escapes from people trying to press him.
Glides.
Yeah. So to me, when I look at that player, I think if Arsenal win the league, then he's the player of the season for me. But that's just me. You know what I mean? I don't really watch City that too often, but I've watched Arsenal. I've watched your games against Liverpool. I've watched your games against Spurs. I watch your games in the Champions League where you come undone by Munich. But at the end of the day, I don't want to keep you too long, but the score, you reckon, and you're feeling very confident, yeah?
Yeah, well,
2-0, 3-0, and then you this is what you reckon.
Only reason why I'm feeling confident is because we're playing so well and you guys are playing so bad. If you guys were playing well, I would be a little bit more worried. But it's just you guys are really on the floor, and I'm expecting Casemiro to be playing as center back again. Really, guys, like it's gonna be a disaster class for him again. Like you guys can't have him as a center back. What happened to your academy? Play an academy center back, like.
Yeah. It could be Jackson. It could be Jackson. I do not want to see Casemiro. That's the guy. But yeah, it could be Jackson. I hope the youngster plays because
what's your score?
Listen. In the past, we've played youngsters. I'll never forget. with Louis van Gaal, we had loads of injuries. There's a boy called Marcus Rashford coming on, doing what the business is, you know what I mean? Doing the business. What he did in
He showed up against Arsenal.
Yeah. 2 goals in that game. I remember being in the stadium and not expecting anything, expecting to get clapped by you boys. So maybe, I mean, that's what I'm saying. To me, I want to see the youngsters being given a chance.
You know what?
I want to see test. In the next couple of games. These means fuck all to me. These games for me personally, and I would like to see the youngsters given a chance. Since we haven't.
But you know something? It means something to Ten Hag. He has no job security, so he can't play the kids.
Well, he has to because at the end of the day, if he moans about the injuries, then you have to trust and then show to the board or whatever that you are, building for the future. That's what you have to show for me because playing these players that we have at the moment, They're just shit. We're getting slapped
But
anyway.
if he doesn't have a future, how can he play for the future?
Well, that's what I'm saying. But from his point of view, he has to show, because he's been talking about the youngsters like he developed them. You know what I mean? Our youth team who've done amazing. You know, on the 18th, they've done amazing. Like in the Northwest, they won the cup and they won the league, the Northern in the North. So we've got a couple of young, talented youngsters. But that's how he's been. So it's going to be very interesting. I'll be there on Sunday. You know, I'll be there. I'll be there on Sunday.
It could get ugly. It could get ugly. But if you guys win, you end our season, and I'm not gonna lie to you, it's gonna be carnage on my end. I can't imagine how some people overreact. We have a very reactionary fan base. I think you guys think your fan base is bad. My fan base is super reactionary.
Oh, we know about Arsenal fans. Come on, the cigars, the glasses, the cakes, everything. What you guys do, the trophies, like it's like honestly, it's crazy how. I'm always on giddy watch. I call it giddy watch with Manchester United fans.
Giggity.
Yeah? Giddy. When people get excited, overexcited, giddy watch. But Arsenal fans have no giddy filter. There's no absolute filter when it comes to being giddy.
Bro,
so,
we signed Lokonga. He was getting compared to Yaya Toure. It was mental.
Well, this is what I'm saying. Actually, he done amazing at Luton this season. He's been one of the best players. He absolutely tore us apart.
Him and something? Sometimes players are not
Everton guy.
Lokonga.
Everton guy. Lokonga and
Onana.
No, Everton guy, the former Everton player. Played for Luton in midfield. Those two took the piss
out.
Ross
Barkley.
They absolutely, they did a mad one on us. And somehow we got away with it.
I don't think Lokonga is ever going to make it at Arsenal. I would sell him. We're currently at a stage, bro, where I just want to compete every year for the league and try to win everything we can. We have a good enough team where we should not be regressing. We need to stay at this level minimum. If we ever regress, I'm going to want people's heads on a stick. Okay,
last question. I'm going to give you a point of view for what I think Arsenal need to compete and get over them. I think you need another centre half, because if one of those gets injured, you need a backup. I think you definitely need a ball-playing younger Janino type of player. And I think that you 100% need a striker as well, because sometimes it's like horses for horses. So you might have to play differently to the way you play with Havertz. I think the three that are roaming, Saka, Martinelli, and the Belgian kid, that might be all right, and maybe you can promote a young player. But I 100% to go up the levels, a left back, a centre back, a ball playing midfield player, and a striker. That's what I think Arsenal need.
But you forgot left back.
Yeah, and I said left back, centre back, left back, centre midfielder, and a striker. That's what I think.
Okay. You can get a centre back who also can play left back that can cover both.
Maybe.
When it comes to midfield, we're 100% signing a midfielder, because Partey is going to be leaving, and then he's going to be leaving. We're going to keep Jorginho. Striker, you know what? We might not sign a striker. We might sign a left winger who can also play striker.
Interesting.
Maybe a Rafael Leao, maybe a Rodrigo. You never know.
Yeah, well, if you win the league, I think that you will have the top of the picks. I think your club, since the son of Kroenke has come, and
he's been good.
He's taking over. He's listened, and you're doing well. You're doing well, but it can also fall apart, because I don't think if you don't win the league within the next 2 seasons, I think some of the young players might think,
bro, we're here. We're not going anywhere. We're gonna win the league this year. If we don't win it this year, I believe we can go do it next year. If it's a situation where we're here 4 years from now and we still haven't won it, at that point we're idiots and we have ourselves to blame. Something went wrong, and we can only blame ourselves. But have a good one, bro. I really do appreciate it.
There's the last question from the outside. You don't watch Manchester United.
I do watch Man United.
What do you think of our club? What do you think about structure, our football club? What do you think?
Ineos coming in is really good, because they're looking to revamp the stadium, maybe change the training ground, do the little things that need to be fixed. They're changing the backroom staff. I think you guys are a year away from starting to see improvements on the pitch, because everything behind the scenes, if it's starting to improve, then you're going to eventually start to see the improvements on the pitch. and it's gonna take them finding the right coaches, them finding the right scouts, them finding the right recruitment team, them finding the right people to manage the wage bills and how to manage what wages to give players for you guys to be back competing at the top level, because you guys have been giving the wrong people wages, you have been signing the wrong players, you've been trusting the wrong managers, and it all comes from the Glazers not hiring the right people to make the decisions in the first place.
Well, listen, as a historic rival, would you say that it would be best for Arsenal if Manchester United keep Ten Hag, or let Ten Hag go? What do you think about that?
I think what would be best for rivals, for Man United to be bad, is to keep Ten Hag. If you guys want to be good, you're gonna have to get rid of him.
Who would you bring in?
It's not about who I would bring in. Scouts need to do their job. Scouts need to go and find themselves a top manager who can play with the players you have to your disposal. You need to stop building a team around one manager, and you need to build a team based on a philosophy that your club has.
Yeah. We have to find out what the style that we want to play first. But big up Igal. Listen, make sure you check his channel out here. It says there, Igal Talks Football. You go and check out.
And by the way, Mumbai, you want to keep Ten Hag?
If he's here at the start of the season,
some people do.
I'll back him. If
But
he
you
goes,
don't want him to say that.
If he goes, then he goes. But I'm not gonna hound him out, because tomorrow, as an example, let me take away all 4 of your defenders. Let me take away Odegaard. Let me take away Martinelli. What happens to your team? Let me take away Pep's defense. So there is a part of this where you have to be realistic. Yeah, the football is crap. It's not in line with the expectation. But as somebody that's flip-flopped yes and no, and been exhausted, I have to be realistic too. You know, this has been a freak season. Tomorrow you're going into a game very confident you're going to beat us. There is no defense. With all due respect.
I've got an absolute banging headache. I want to let you go. We'll have our little Manchester United debate.
Nice to meet you, man. Take care.
Nice one, Igal. Make sure people check him out. Igal Talks Football across all social media. Big up, Igal. Appreciate you.
I'm not as deluded as people think I am, aren't I? Anyways, have a good one.
No. I never used that word. I've used that word a couple of times to describe him.
I don't know if we win tomorrow.
That's why, not tomorrow, Sunday. That's why he's having his last shot. I just wanted to talk to him because I've not talked to him for a while. But guys, I'm absolutely, my head is banging. Hopefully, Bombay Jarvis, you can host a show. I'll just put the thing on and go through how we're going to play, whatever. But I just wanted to have that little chat. Bombay, whether with injuries, yes, we've got injuries. A lot of teams have had injuries this season. To me, Erik ten Hag needs to leave this football club because the way he sets us up structurally, fit players or no fit players, with all his team or no team, this season has been an absolute disaster. And it's not changed from game one. Game one is not changed. That's why he needs to go. Right? It's nothing to do with, I don't blame him for everything at the football club. I know that he wasn't back properly. I know that he was giving loan signings, workhorse, and all these other type of guys. I know Manchester United is a crazy football club with bankers as the structure. So I don't blame everything Erik ten Hag. I blame the way we play football, the way structurally, systematically, how he sets us up. That is not for the Premier League. We don't have the physicality and we don't have the technical ability of players to be able to play any of that. And we're not getting that anytime soon. And Ineos are not going to all solve it in one summer.
Bro, I wouldn't argue with you. I wouldn't argue or disagree with a single thing you say. You are right and well within your right, and every fan is within their right to say this is completely below par. We need him to go. The only thing that I have in some little spot in my heart is I'm aggrieved at the fact that I haven't been able to see the entire starting best 11 play for a run of 6 or 7 games for me to actually assess things properly. We are always depleted. We are always without.
No, we haven't. When we play them, let me say. Well, actually, when we play them, majority of our players were fit in the corresponding fixture. When we played Arsenal at their ground.
Bro, look, if you look at Arsenal, I can't argue with what he said.
And actually, that was one of our best games this season. Where structurally, we looked all right structurally. And that's when I can name 3 games in the whole season I don't want to argue about it. Like I said, I've argued so much up and down.
No,
Eric
bro, we're
Ten
not
Hag,
arguing. We're talking,
listen,
man.
Yeah, Eric Ten Hag, for me, has shown me enough. And that's why I'm going on Sunday. Because I'm not being there for a couple of games. And I'm going to have a look again just to see how we set up. So, yeah, big up Jarvis and you guys. So please take it away. I'll just mute myself because my head is absolutely.
Yeah.
Good evening, fellas. Good evening, fellas.
Yeah. So, guys, did you see the press conference today with Eric Ten Hag? Did you get what he said about different stuff? Latest news, he said that Bruno Fernandes and Scott McTominay and Marcus Rashford is back in training. So, and on the bad news, Mason Mount is injured again.
Yeah, Martinez as
and
well.
also Luke Shaw has suffered a setback. So, but our midfield is back in a way. We still lack defenders. So how do you guys see it going forward and the game tomorrow, Sunday? Do we have a chance with the Bruno and Scott McTominay back? Maybe Marcus Rashford. Will it help out the team?
But these guys are back after an injury. Does that mean they're fully fit?
They're
I
back
don't
in
know.
training.
Back
So
in training.
basically, yeah.
So are they fully fit? I don't know. Are they 100% match fit? Are they going to be able to give us what we expect? I don't know. But the defense is the problem. You don't even have Scott McTominay, to put him at centre back and move Casemiro into midfield. So this game is a misnomer. Even Pep Guardiola couldn't do anything with a team like this. There's literally no defense. Even Kwambala's out. Like, what's this defense? There is no defense, man. Do you know what I mean if you have a manager that when we have our proper defense, you see the impact and the difference it has on the playing out from the back. Just that alone, let's isolate that on its own. Forget the rest of the game. I'm not telling you we're amazing, but the entire ethos of playing out from the back is effectively null and void on the basis of what you have available now in the back. And having Casemiro in midfield when you have better defenders behind him affects his performance. He's not a centre back. And we're going to try and push high. We're going to try and make the pitch small with Casemiro and Johnny Evans. You saw what happened at Palace. Yeah. And this is why tomorrow you don't have a prayer.
Bumba, the biggest problem with Casemiro as centre back is there was no shielding against Crystal Palace. We had Eriksen as DM, Mr. Dribbled past himself.
That's what I'm saying,
jogging around, and this is the biggest problem. So I would actually say I'm okay with Casemiro, but then you have to play a DM, and the only available DM I see at the moment is Amrabat.
Amrabat, and man, I have my opinion on Amrabat. I don't think he's ever been a United player personally. It's a loan. I don't think it'll be extended. But like I say, if you had somebody and then you could push Cass back into that midfield, that would give you a better outcome. But the fact that there's nothing in front of he's not in front and he's at the back, it's a done deal, man. Tomorrow is going to be a bad day at the office. If we get anything out of this game, it'll be unbelievable. I think so. Anyway, I can't see it, man.
No, neither do I. Lesso, are you here?
I'm here.
Yeah. How would you line up tomorrow when you're thinking of centre backs and midfielders? Because we have several options. We have McTominay back. Yeah. He can also play as centre back. We have some of the academy players. How would you set up?
Sean, I think maybe you've got someone on in the background, bro. Just mute it if you can, please.
Oh yeah, I'm already on mute.
Okay.
Can anyone hear that background noise?
Maybe it's Nuruddin. Well, it's not too loud. I think we will be fine.
Okay. Yeah, guys. With regards to the how we gonna line up, I think it all actually makes much more sense to actually play McTominay at that centre back. I think that makes sense because he has played there for his national team, and he was actually close to being fit for the Crystal Palace game. He missed the game, unfortunately, but he's definitely gonna be, I think, fit for this one. I think it was just more precaution than anything else to bring him back. And then in midfield, I think it's Casemiro and Maino for me. They need to be a double pivot, and then as well you just have Bruno up front. I think we need to be a little bit more defensive. We need to try and make sure that we guard the defense as much as possible. We should not be playing the way that we've been playing these past few games. You see, this is the problem I have. Despite the injuries and everything, this is the problem I have with this manager, because if you're not learning and we keep seeing the same mistakes every game, then you're not giving yourself a chance. At the end of the day, it's 90 minutes. Injuries or no injuries, quality or quality. You give yourself a chance when you play the right tactics. So he needs to make sure that the first thing he does when he plays Arsenal is to make sure that he seals that gap that he has always left open in midfield. That gap, any team has shown that they're more than capable of actually playing circles around us and actually causing a lot of harm. If we don't make sure that we secure that midfield place. And as well as I think we need to also refrain away from tucking in. I hate this tactic of fullbacks tucking in, and then we are allowing these people spaces in the wide areas to cross and put in dangerous balls in the box or even shoot. So Arsenal are more than capable of doing those things. So another thing I think we need to get Wan-Bissaka marking someone. Men marking someone instead of him running and tucking in and allowing these guys to just go at it and cross the ball inside the box. So I think midfield is self-explanatory, and then when we go forward, it's obvious Rashford is back, so he may start on the left, and then it may be Garnacho on the right, and then it's Højlund in front. That's how I look at how he's gonna line up pretty much, but we'll see.
Sean, are you here, mate?
Yeah. I'm traveling for the next few weeks, so my network is really horrible. I don't know if you guys can really hear me well. But what I'm gonna say is that, like, from my perspective, I really don't think the lineup or the tactics matter much in this game. I think the game against Arsenal at Old Trafford, when we could deny them the Premier League title, is gonna be from start to finish about pride and, like, P words. I'm gonna about a couple of P words: pride, passion, entirely. So regardless of whatever tactic Ten Hag does, that wouldn't stop Casemiro from abandoning his defensive position and running into midfield and getting dribbled past. That's not going to stop Rashford from running into blind alleys or any of the nonsense that we've seen throughout the season. So, I think the lineups, nobody really wants to hear that as an excuse from Ten Hag. The fact that, our squad is effectively depleted, that we don't have players back. I saw something from the press conference that you mentioned, Jarvis, that Ten Hag said that Martinez came to him asking to play. Martinez really wants to play this game, but Ten Hag is telling him not to play because he needs to manage his injury, which is the right choice. But if you let some other people tell it, Ten Hag is always rushing people back. So yeah, I think honestly this game against Arsenal is going to be who wants it more, right? If we there's no, we're already in a bad strait. Like, there's no tactic that's going to happen between 4-0 against Crystal Palace and this game that is going to get these boys in good shape or in good form or to learn patterns of play or anything like that. If we win, if we're going to get anything out of this game, it's going to be route one football. It's going to be some moments of magic, from Rashford or somebody, or just super intensity where the Old Trafford fan base acts as like the 13th or the 12th player and really gets behind the team and really demoralizes Arsenal. Because honestly, I don't see any tactical approach or team selection that we could put together that could give us anything. Because we've been shit. We've been shit for the past few weeks, and the logical assumption is that that trend is going to continue against one of the best teams in the Premier League right now. So whether or not we play McTominay and somebody from the youth in defense and put Casemiro in midfield, not really going to make much of a difference. who wants it more? Like who really wants it, right? If you believe the reports that are coming out of the dressing room, basically the players they've all given up on Ten Hag. That's the reporting coming out of United right now. That the players, the messages they're getting from Dave Brailsford and the likes, basically they're taking it that Ten Hag doesn't have a future here, despite the fact that if you read some other reports, Ten Hag is guaranteed to get at least another year. So I honestly don't know what team is going to show up, and I don't mean like what team in terms of the lineup. I mean what team in terms of personality, because that's what this game is going to be about. It's going to be about personality. It's going to be about fighting. It's going to be about passion. It's going to be about pride. That's just the way I see it.
I think you're right when it comes to personality, but as we know, with this group of players, there's not many players with personality left. The Martinez is injured, and I don't know who else do we have. Casemiro is one of them with the personality. He dragged us over the line at the end of the season last season, but I don't think we have much. The only weakness I see in this Arsenal team is basically, I think they're, as I mentioned, Igal, Tomayasu, their left back, and maybe their goalkeeper David Raya. I think he has some weaknesses for us to exploit. Besides that, there's not much
I
coming
would
into the game.
I would say that I would say we could exploit their trauma. We could exploit the trauma of Arsenal bottling the league. I don't think I mean I think they're a good team. They work very hard, but I think there's still that sense of fragility in them where the fans feel like it's, we all feel like it's, we're expecting them to drop the ball eventually. And you see these memes going around about how even in a season where Liverpool got 97 points, Man City still won. So there's just the sense that like Man City are inevitable, and that's our best hope. Our best hope is to play on the fragility of this Arsenal team, play on Mikel Arteta's erratic temperament. Sometimes he seems like he gets very emotional, he gets very worked up. And it's at Old Trafford. So the best thing that can happen for United in this game, the best thing that can happen is for us to have a very good first 10 to 20 minutes, very good start of the game, have some one or two players put in some very good tackles, make some really good runs, and get the crowd going. Because if they do, then you can expect that like Arsenal are going to feel the pressure basically because it's going to be, the pressure is all on them. We have nothing to lose, right? If we lose, it's expected that we're shit anyway. And if we win, then it's how dare Arsenal not beat this terrible United team. So we're in a good position, and all the pressure is on them. And so like that's like the main weakness that we can exploit. We can take advantage of the fact that we're at home and try to put some pressure on that Arsenal team, and hopefully as they did against Bayern Munich in Champions League, when they drop points against Aston Villa in the Premier League as well, when the going gets really really tough, we don't know if Arsenal has what it takes to go over the line essentially, and that's our edge for this game.
Yeah, I see. We have a comment here in that Lala Rashid say, Jarvis, can you ask Sean what his opinion about Crystal Palace is now? I think they're bantering
Oh
you.
yeah, so okay, yeah, no, that's fair now because I was busy that day, right? And I missed the game. Honestly, I'm glad I didn't watch the game. I was in a couple of meetings at work, and I was just seeing the scoreline, 1-0, 2-0, 3-0, 4, and I was laughing, which is really my reaction to this type of thing. It was just funny, it was hilarious, and it seemed like the team basically fell apart. My opinion of Crystal Palace hasn't really changed in the sense that like their position in the league table reflects where they are, and I think the new manager bounce accounts for a lot of what we're seeing from them. Also, by the time they sell Olise and Eze in the summer, we'll see what type of team they really are. That being said, I mean it was a new low, I think, for Crystal Palace match. And I can imagine how difficult it must have been for United fans to watch that game and to see it play out the way it did. Because that's getting back to what I'm saying. Like the goals that I saw that we conceded, they were crazy. Like there was one of them where Casemiro ran to the midfield and like they dribbled past him like he wasn't there, right? And then Johnny Evans, he was dribbled past. Apparently Johnny Evans didn't even pass a fitness test. that morning, and he still got to play. So like that was a freak game, and Crystal Palace were ruthless. Basically, they took their chances. And I think maybe it speaks to what I was saying earlier about the dressing room and the fact that like there's just something wrong in the squad. Like there's something wrong with those players. They are not following the instructions that they are being given. Some of them don't seem to give a damn. And Ten Hag is in this kind of like damned if he does, damned if he doesn't position where the players that you think or that you think you'll be able to count on essentially are the ones who are basically going to throw you under the bus. So yeah, no, that Crystal Palace game, I'm sure it must have been a nightmare to watch, honestly, or to watch in real time. But this whole season essentially has been one very long, very terrible nightmare that we haven't woken up from yet. So hopefully we get some respite on Sunday.
Yeah, yeah. I have a question for Boumbaye, because we saw today Ten Hag in the press conference said it again, blamed the injuries. He mentioned we have had 32 different back four back lines, and we have lost 8 center backs, and we don't have a left back, and it has a negative impact. And again now Ten Hag is blaming the injuries, and is very defeatist in a way. Is it the right approach to have when you speak in press conference, to focus on the injuries, or maybe should he have his focus on the Arsenal game and play the players he have and have focus on them?
I haven't watched the interview pre-Arsenal. Usually, what I like about Ten Hag is he doesn't make excuses for himself. He never has done that. And I think when you look at Arsenal this year, they've had not really many injuries in key areas. They've been always fit, and we all know historically you need to play regularly with a central defensive partner to build a relationship. That's why you have preferred duos. That's why you have great, defensive partnerships. Um, Last season, when Eric Ten Hag came in, one of the things, if we were to go back now and look at some of the shows we did, we started to notice some of the partnerships that were forming with the wing backs and the wingers, the centre backs. We started to see some players improving when we were having a run of regular games with a regular team. Everything has gone out of the window this year. I know it's a little bit dismissive to just say everyone's got injuries. Our injury list is unbelievable, really. When I look at the back line, it's unreal. Everything anyone in the comments says, Ten Hag is this, that, whatever. I'm not going to argue with that. This is way below par for sure, football wise, results wise. But my grievance, and why I don't mind if he's here in the dugout at the beginning of next season, is that I was very much looking forward to seeing this team, all of it together, playing for a consistent run of games so that I can really judge what have we got here. I have seen Mason Mount play 4 games. Martinez has played 4 games. Hoyland has missed 13 games. The entire back line this season, I don't know what to say. Wan-Bissaka missing all the time. Lindelof missing all the time. Varane we know is a sick note. Even Maguire, even Kwambala. I mean, I don't know what to do with that. So at this point, Eric Ten Hag, does he go? Is it difficult? I think it's time to be realistic. It's time to be realistic. And realistically, tomorrow's game is a tall order, man. Usually I'm comfortable, I'm confident against Arsenal, however well they're playing. We have a good
Sunday.
record against them. Sorry, bro. Sunday. But I just can't see anything in this game, man. And I am a very optimistic fan. I seldom ever in my life go into any game thinking that we can't get something out of it. But tomorrow it's gonna be a bad day at the office, man. Because those days of, you know what, now we can do a miracle, you know what, my heart. No, this team is completely on its Lehal. I think Igal said it. I mean, this team is on it's fallen on its face at the moment. There's not much to play for but pride. What Sean is saying is, I agree with it, but I do think there is a massive gulf in quality between the two teams. There is a massive gulf. When we have injuries, you see, we're in the second year of a project, and this season we changed the goalkeeper and we changed. We wanted to start really playing football and not just being compact and being able to see things out. They're 4 or 5 years into their project. When they have an injury, it's pretty seamless. That's a point in case that we really do need to consider. It is time to be realistic for Erik ten Hag. You know,
I just want to say this. I just want to repeat what I want to repeat from quickly. The reason why Erik ten Hag needs to go is because he has persisted with the same set of lineup when he's had different options of the bench. The idea that, to me, what it showed me that actually a physically fit Amrabat, a guy who can get around the ground when we're so depleted, if you wanted to go with the depletion that we have so many injuries, instead of playing him as a centre-back, right? At least he can run about a little bit. He plays Casemiro there. In that game, I find out that the games that he picks, the reason why Ahmad has not had any sniff, even when we've been so shit, I look at how structurally we set up, whether we've had the players or we've not had the players. And that, to me, those things are the bigger, most sackable offences. And the fact that he's never learned from any of the mistakes that he's made, but he's continuing to make them again and again and again. And the fact that one of the most frustrating thing is that majority of the fans don't see our team shape. This man-for-man way he goes when we have the least physical players in the league, right? The least physical in terms of winning one-to-one duels. And then he leaves huge gaps and perseveres with a single pivot from game one. If this was like 6 months in, or 5 months in, or 7 months in, you might be like, okay. After this game on Sunday, there's 2 more games left. So this idea for me, and the other thing that I just want to bring people about to, next season, anytime he loses 2 games, the pressure is going to come like nobody's business. Do you think the manager staying, for majority of us who see his flaws, so for him to stay next season, if they say to him, okay, they don't have the guy they want and they keep him for next season, the problem is that anytime he gets beaten, or structurally the same things that he's been repeating, the voices are going to get louder and louder and louder and more louder for him to be replaced. And at the end of the day, people, the only reason why I can see them keeping him, if the guy they want is not available yet. If the first choice or the second choice that the guys are not available yet. But mark my words, the bit that most of you are missing is that next season, the pressure, do you think there's been pressure on him this season? Next season, the pressure would be even times it by 50. And that is if they fail to get rid of the players as well. And from everything that I'm hearing inside Manchester and through people that, through friends and friends, is that Ineos might not have that much to spend and they're going to trudge out FFP, which the club rolled out last season as being the thing because they haven't got any European football. So at the end of the day, people, like I always said, I'm happy for the transfer window to be used. I don't mind finishing 10th, 15th, or whatever the fuck it is next season, right? I believe you should get rid of players, clear out players. By clearing out the players, you clear out the big wages. When you clear out the big wages, then you'll be able to have a cap, kind of a wage cap established, and then bring new players and keep them all humble and grounded at what we're talking at the most 150 grand, 170 grand minimum, 200, everything.
Don't you see a problem with that? Because how are we supposed to bring in good enough players if we can't pay them?
Well, that's what I'm trying to say to you, Jarvis. If you've got
our pool is not the same.
Okay, well, this is what I'm glad you asked that question, because then to me, you say what Liverpool used to do on the club. They made it bonuses for performances, goals and assists. those were the biggest things to have the bonuses. So you would have your basic wage, then you had all of the top on top of the how many thousands, right? On top. And that's how Liverpool kept in terms of where the two people that they broke the bank for was Mane and Salah. This is especially in the past couple of years. But before that, they had bonus top up things for performances, assists, and goals, right? That's how they did it. And the other thing, what people think, is that I don't want Manchester United to go out there and spend 70 million on players anymore. Manchester United, if they were to get their scouting right, should be able to find absolute gems, the Championship, throughout different leagues, the Portuguese league. I'm not talking about the 70 or the 80 million. I'm not talking about that. Miss me out with all of that bullshit. 30 million. Look at 26-year-old, 25-year-olds who are on their last contract, who are looking for a new deal and a new adventure. Find those gems. You can, if you scout properly, Jarvis, because we see other clubs doing it on the daily. We see them every season doing it. Why can't Manchester United do it? Because now we've got Ineos. So show us then.
Yeah, one of the biggest problems when you speak about transfers and 70 million and stuff like that is always when we are linked to players, the price doubles at the moment you read about them in the papers, and even like you mentioned, unknown gems, they suddenly rise
the point what I want to make to you is simple, Jarvis. So how do you do the massive cultural reset in terms of the transfer window? You then don't buy those players. You don't buy those players. At the end of the day, it has to be a privilege to come to play one of the biggest clubs in world football. And you know what agents do now? And you know what publicists that players have to do now? You see how much quadruple or even quadruple how their social media and things go up, their brand when a player signs for Manchester United. So all of these different things, try to make them understand, is that, do you want to be part of the journey bringing Manchester United back? Or do you want money? Then tata, we don't need you. Go somewhere else. The players who would want to come. So the point I want to make to you is this. I want a team cohesion built. I want fundamental basics of how you play football, modern football built. And for that, I don't need superstars or world stars.
Can I press you on that?
Let me just finish. Let me just finish. I'll say it. And then I believe if you have that and you get a good coaching and you develop a way of playing, when Manchester United play that levels of football, I believe the club will become attractive again. And then I can imagine then the top-ups being the 70 million player for certain quality positions, or the 60 million player for certain positions. That's what I believe. I'm a believer Manchester United are nowhere near challenging for every league title or any Champions League anytime soon. So I'm happy to regress. This season we regressed already. Next season, write it up for me personally. That's what I would do, because I need to clear house of players who have shown me that they can't do. And a lot of them are the players that Erik ten Hag bought. The ones that we've had, the ones that Erik ten Hag and the club have bought in a tenure that he's been here, to get rid of them, because they've proven they can't play the modern way of football that we want to play. So most clubs who are successful build towards play. So that is the reason why I'm saying
but also,
next season for me is not about, because we're not getting there anyway. We're not getting there. And it's going to take time for this Ineos, we trust, if you believe them, they're going to need at least 3 to 4 windows for the team to fundamentally change. But I'm happy for them to have discipline in that when they go for a player, they're telling people that bankers, everybody getting paid right, left, and center on a huge contract, that's over. But like I said, we will know by the first signing Manchester United make this season, or in the January, if Glazenomics is over or Glazenomics is there.
A couple of points just to throw a spanner in the works here. I think successful managers, modern day football managers, should be allowed to some trial and error. Essentially, they should be allowed to sign for every Ruben Diaz. You should be allowed to sign a Mangala for 50 million and get rid of him. Right? For every what's this guy's name that's playing at Man City, the right back, Kyle Walker. you should be allowed to bring in maybe Sanya first or whoever it is that they brought and got rid of, you know. So like you need to allow the managers some time and the club as well to make those mistakes in the market, be like, okay, hey, we thought you could do this, but you can't actually do this, then we'll get rid of you. And that's a lesson that we've learned and we move on. Also, I want to challenge what you were saying earlier about, you know, club culture and all of that. What type of message do you think it sends, given everything we've seen from the group of players this season? What type of message do you think it sends about the club if Ten Hag is the only person? And I know that's not what you want, right? I know that's not what you want. You want everybody to go at the same time. What type of message do you think it sends if Ten Hag ends up getting sacked? If you have a situation where a squad of highly paid professionals can't string three passes together for love or money, and we all know full well that that had nothing to do with tactics or training or coaching. It has more to do with concentration and application as a player. So what type of message do you think it sends within the club? What type of message do you think it sends within the market, essentially in general, if United sack Ten Hag? So basically, how do you factor if in trying to keep the culture, you know, the way you want it? How do you navigate the manager situation this season? And please don't say you get rid of everybody in the whole dressing room, because that's not really, you know, likely to happen rather right now. So like in
No,
this near term future.
no. For me, I always said, Sean, I've always said 6 or 7 of the starting lineup have to go. And like I said, I stand by my principles. I would happy to pay them with a transfer money to pay them out of their contract and head them out. That's what I'm willing to do, because that at some point this club has to make the fundamental break and change the culture. So whoever is still stuck within that culture that has seen that for the past 12 to 11 years, the only way you do it is like you have to cut that umbilical cord. That's it. See you later. See you later. None of this. See you later, players. Thank you so much. But it's been a pleasure. But for me, that's what will show me that what Ineos is about and what it's about. And then the players we go to sign. Like I said, in every transfer window, there are bargains. On the whole, generally, I agree with you, Sean, that managers on a transfer window is 50-50, the average percentage, really. 50, some clubs do it 55. But for me, the reason why I want to get rid of players is that to set a new culture when you buy in new players, so that they're not being marred by the same culture that has seen a shit show for the past 11 years now. So that's the reason why I want to get rid of them, right? And that's what I believe. So all the review that they've done, all this stuff they've done, they know which players. And it's not just that, it's also the medical department, it's the injury and rehab department. I mean, how laughable is it? Fucking laughable that Mason Mount is injured. And Luke Shaw has broken down in his rehab. Fantastic. I just want to go around quickly.
What do you say to people? What do you say to people who say that? What do you say to people who say that it's important for United to send a strong message to the players that no player is bigger than one, the club, and no player is bigger than the manager? What do you say to that argument that it's important to back the manager to send that message that as a player you can no longer throw a manager under the bus?
Sean, all due respect, the manager, I mean, I don't know what, I know I've got a headache, I know I'm not well, but I've banged on about this for the last 3 to 4 months. I banged on about it since last January. The way this manager not learning from mistakes in the toughest league, the fastest and the most physically demanding league in world football is incredible. We are set up worse than the Sunday league teams I watch in my local park. And that's not me exaggerating. A majority of you have played football and understand about the single pivot, the not picking the players, sticking them with the same old shit. It's incredible what he has to do. Now, we're a club that has sacked managers, right? So I understand there is a bit within the fan base for people to think, oh, we can't really sacking managers. I was one of them. This is not the guy. This is not the guy to back. This guy has clearly shown you and has disrespected the fan base from game 1 in Premier League. Game 1. and he stubbornly stuck with a single pivot and the wide spaces, regardless who's fit. And that is the reason why he needs to go.
Wait, so is it
why
that
he
you
needs
don't
to go.
believe? Is it that you don't believe him when he says, "If I have my players, I'll play better"?
I
Or
don't. I
you don't,
don't.
or you don't think that's a good enough argument on his behalf?
No.
Which
No,
which
it's
one?
not.
Which one of the two? You don't believe
Listen,
you don't believe we'll play better with a better squad, or
both.
Okay.
Both. For me, because I've seen it. Not all our players, I just want to remind you all, not all our players were injured from the beginning of the season. Not all of them were injured. Not all our defenders were all out. Not all of them were injured. Some of them have come in and got injured again and again. And for me, unless there is something that is making him do this, like something like something that we don't know about. Nobody has been no secret that is kept in a box somewhere of all the details. What derailed the players and the manager this season, right? Those are the two things.
What do you say to that period of 10 games
Unless
or
you
so
come
when
out with that
when
and you
Højlund was
show the
firing?
evidence, and you show the evidence.
What do you say about that period during the season of about 10 games or so when Martinez and Varane were around? I think Luke Shaw was available. Dalot was playing at the right back. Højlund was scoring basically 7 games straight. There was a period, I think he referenced it in the Gary Neville interview, where we were playing very well.
And
what do you say about that?
And I say about that, the shots Manchester United faced, the how much the shots that we were facing, how comfortable teams were to break us down in terms of game, and people were missing. The Villa game was a classic example that comes to mind. The way where they were missing sitters, and Onana had actually decent kind of game. Some of the saves were fluky because he didn't mean to; he just hit him right. So at the end of the day, in some of the games where we robbed, we literally did a absolute stick-up job on them. And the other game I can remind you at that time was Burnley away. We absolutely defended like dogs and then hit them one time on the attack with Bruno scoring a fantastic goal from a ball from and that. But the rest of the game, they missed absolute sitters and they should have had something like that. So majority of all those games, Manchester United were opened up again and again and again, and it showed. And when the luck ran out, Sean, you saw the Brentford.
No, but it wasn't just luck, right? We had injuries that caught up with us, and I mean, some could say that you need in a season you need that kind of luck. Also, you need a period where you're getting by. Some people say that that's the stuff of champions. That a champion, a Premiership winning team is the type of team that can play badly and get the results. That's not to put us in the Premier League winning conversation, right? But I'm saying, isn't it possible that we could have rode our luck in a different season? We could have rode our luck during that difficult period, gotten a consistent, fluent team and playing pattern together, and then built on that. But instead, we got injuries here and there and everything that happened in the season.
Sean, all due respect, we've done this. We've remixed this same conversation. You think the manager should get a chance?
It's true. We have.
So I don't need to go over it again. But listen, I want to quickly go Jarvis before we hang up. It's mad because we jumped from having 80 to 90 people to nearly 400 people now.
Yeah, big up to 8.
It's crazy. Big up to everybody. Jarvis, what do you want? Do you want to see something different? I want to see some youngsters play. Actually, youngsters have come in and done well against Arsenal in the past, and I'm just sick of him fucking moaning every fucking press conference about this, and he's actually begging for his job, which is embarrassing. It's absolutely embarrassing the way he's talking. So for me, I agree with you in the question, the way you set out, you should be focused more on the game and talking about the fucking injuries. Because you're sending a message to the players who you want to motivate to get out there and play for you. When you're saying, oh, my players are out. Well, how are you instilling any confidence in them? That's
the thing, Nordin. If you want your players to perform, you can't remind them of everything that can go wrong. You need to build their confidence in a way. And but I don't think Ten Hag sounds confident in his press conference. He said something about vote of confidence, that he don't care, and I don't care if they do or don't. If they give him a vote of confidence, the owners. His responsibility is to improve the team, And there was also one thing he said about the FA Cup. Was asked if he was worried that they sacked Louis van Gaal despite winning the FA Cup, and he said no. No, I think they have common sense. So in a way, I think he feels the pressure. In a way, it sounds like he's a dead man walking at the moment. So I wouldn't be surprised if we change him up. But the thing is, who do we have lined up? It won't. We can't sign. I don't know. There's no good options at the moment. That's the biggest problem, you know. So for me, I'm always worried. Will we sack Ten Hag and then we get Tuchel in? Is Thomas Tuchel the answer? You know,
No.
and for me, no.
No,
I
he
wouldn't do
papers
that.
over the biggest cracks, that guy.
Yeah.
Hansi Flick, I think it's better.
He papers over the cracks. But quickly, guys, just to say, Jarvis, what do you think about the game on Sunday? What do you think? Do you want to see players that you've not seen? Do you want to see some youngsters get opportunities, like play actually a youngster there in the centre back or the under 21s? Apparently, Tom Huddleston. I don't know if that's a rumor. I don't know if they're fake.
I heard it. Yeah.
But
I heard
he's
about
been
it. That's
registered.
rumor, Nordin. It's but for me, the right game to throw in the youngsters was away against Crystal Palace, not in this game against Arsenal, because we are going to get slaughtered. Do you want to ruin a 18-year-old guy's career?
But but young players can surprise you sometimes. And I'd rather have a remember Kampala.
It's not a good environment to read in.
Remember how Kampala played at Anfield against Liverpool at home? I actually rather try young players at home than away, because at home at least they've got majority of the stadium supporting them. I just want to go. I want to see something different, Jarvis. I'm sick of this bullshit. I'm sick of seeing the same dead fucking players, same shit football, same gaps. If he thinks he can play pivot and man for man against Arsenal, we will get slaughtered on Sunday.
The only one of the youngsters I want to see start is Ethan Wheatley. I think he looked, for me, he's good enough. I think he's big, physical, and he's in form, and I think he could do a difference. Actually, I would bench Højlund. I think Højlund his form is not performing at the moment. He looks off at every level of his game. So I think it's time to give him a rest. Play Ethan Wheatley. I would also go with Amrabat because I want more defensive stability. I think it's good that Bruno is back. I would play Bruno in the 10, but I will tell Bruno to drop down so we get the box midfield. That's most important, to keep it tight centrally and don't give Arsenal any room. Try to keep Ødegaard out of the game. I think that's one of the key elements. But we can have a go at them. We can sit back. We have Rashford back probably and Garnacho. So
I don't think they're back. I don't think they're back. You're saying that Rashford should be available. Okay, Mason Mount.
Yeah, he's in training. He's been training, so it looks good. I think he can play, and as long as he's available, he will start. That's Eric for you. He doesn't rest players if they're available. But the worst thing Erik Ten Hag can do is throw back everyone at once. We have Bruno coming back from an injury, McTominay back from an injury. We have Rashford back from an injury. Maybe he can even play Licha because he's back in training.
He said he's not playing him. He said he's not playing him.
You never know when it comes to football, You never know.
He said that in a press conference, but unless he's lying. He said that in a press conference.
He could. But it's a difficult one. But for me, it's about not losing 7-0. Let's have a decent performance. If we lose 2-1, I would be almost... I would be almost pleased in a way, if you know what I mean.
I'll be there on Sunday. I'm going to go on and hopefully if I feel better, I'll be there. And I'll make sure that I'll just watch the gaps and I'll report on the eye test if the gaps on this 6 and all of this madness is there. Bumbaye, quickly, please, because I want to wrap up. what do you think you should do? Do you want to see different players, maybe given a chance, a couple of the youngsters given a chance?
No, I saw what happened to Arsenal's youngsters when we beat them 8-2. There was players like Francis Coquelin in there and stuff like that. There's no need to bring them in at this point. It's better to bring young players in when things are going all right, when they can get a bit of minutes and get some confidence and get a feel for it. Not to put them in a game.
Louis van Gaal, who's your favourite manager at Manchester United, thought completely the opposite. They actually brought in youngsters that season. We were also living with injuries, and the players did fairly well when Manchester United didn't get murdered or slapped because he actually coached the youngsters. But that's a different story.
Yeah, Louis van Gaal is not Erik ten Hag, and this isn't that team, and this situation isn't the situation that we were in under.
He raided the youth team. We got players from the under.
He's one of the best managers that comes to mind in terms of having faith in youth. I think Eric has done well with youth players. We like I said, we've promoted Kobe Mainu, has been excellent. Garnacho has done well, and Kwambala has done well. 3 players in 2 seasons is not bad. Now you're seeing a little bit of Wheatley. The academy is doing all right, but tomorrow is not the game for that. It's not the situation for that. I agree with Jarvis. I wouldn't want to put a young kid in there just to give him a run out. I think, unfortunately, the situation that we're in, Erik ten Hag tomorrow, I'm not reading too much into it. I don't think
Sunday, not tomorrow.
Sorry, Sunday. I don't think there's a single Man United fan that actually believes we're going to get anything out of this game. And that is purely because of the players that are missing. If I
not just because of that. Not just because of that. Because the way he sets us up.
Let me just land, and then you can take it.
No, but I'm just saying to you, I'm injecting there in that point. It's not just that what's available; it's the way he sets us up.
Well, I can't tell you it's the way he sets us up because, like I said, the one little thing that I'm still intrigued by or the unknown is I have not seen the entire team show me the repertoire for 6-7 games straight for me to say, you know what, I get it, I see it. I haven't seen it. I never see it. I've never seen it. I've never seen our actual best 11 team with a decent bench. Our bench is a joke. Our bench is one of the worst benches I've seen since I've been supporting Man United. It's an absolute joke, this bench. Like who'd you bring on? Who've we actually got to bring on? You look at Man City, you look at Arsenal. There's nobody on that bench. Let's be real.
Mumbai, you can. You've got Amrabat.
Look, bro. Let me look, bro. Please.
I'm sorry.
I don't want. Listen. No. Look. Let me finish it. Yeah, please. Because I don't want to hear Amrabat anymore. Anybody that thought Amrabat was a player is a lunatic. Player. He's a shit player. He will never ever play for Man United in his life. You talk about a player that's able to cover ground. Have you not been watching this time?
He was our best player against Crystal Palace when he came on the football pitch.
So that warrants what you're saying because he had one game. Please, man, please.
No, it's not one game. It's not one game. The manager has worked with him before. The manager's worked with him before. The manager who begged to bring him here, and the manager keeps him on the bench and puts Casemiro as a lone 6 or plays him at the back when he's got 0 pace.
Listen,
and he's been having a horrendous season. I'm sorry. That's on your manager. That's on your manager.
You just keep interrupting, man. Relax a minute,
I'm
please.
Not because
you can't. Look, bro, it's not that you can't just keep interrupting people, bro.
No, it's a waffle.
Because
you say we haven't got a bench. When I tell you about the players that he doesn't put on the bench,
what the fuck is the point of me coming on this show ever when you just behave like a child, bro? I'd say something that you disagree with, and then you just start cutting people up. Just be quiet and let me do the point, man. Flipping hell!
You said we've got no bench.
No bench.
Ahmad, every time he comes on in games, has an effect. Every game that he's come on.
Ahmad Diallo has been injured a lot of times as well. Don't forget.
Fuck that. Since the last 3 months.
If Højlund is injured, listen, if Højlund is injured, who do you bring in?
In every game. Yes or no?
Let me give you an example. No, not always. Definitely no. He's made a few impacts. You want to make him out like he's coming on and changing the world. He's not. He's not at all. If Højlund is injured, who do you bring on? Who's your bench tomorrow? Who's been your bench for the last 2-3 games? Don't talk to me about benches. I know Manchester United benches. I'm a fan. I've been watching us. This bench is a joke. This bench is a joke. Don't compare it to any other top sides. Right? You're going into play.
Yeah,
You're going into play one of the best football playing team this year in Arsenal. You've got no defenders. You're playing a midfielder as a defender. You're playing a 37-year-old that's probably still injured as a defender. What are you talking about? There's no hope tomorrow. But I'm not going to kick a man while he's down by dismissing all of that and saying, do you know what? This guy's in a tough spot. If we get whacked tomorrow, all we're going to do is come on here and just lambast and lambast. No, I'm not doing that. Do you know why?
Just
I'm
please get it right, son.
Bro, stop getting triggered by that. Whatever, man. Everybody knows when the game is. Forgive me. But I'm not going to kick the man while he's down. That's stupid. Do you know what I mean? Just because everybody wants him out and all that. Okay, fine. I'm not asked.
I'm just saying to you, don't waffle and say we haven't got a bench.
We haven't got a bench.
Players he's bought, he refused to play them.
We haven't got a bench.
That's on him.
Isn't it also possible that he looks at these guys in training and says, "Oh, actually, you're not as good as I thought you were."
No,
Amrabat, Christian Eriksen.
We've all agreed. I'm sorry. We've all agreed that he has favourites, and we saw the same shit lineups game after game after game after game. So on Sunday when I go, shoot me for wanting to see something different. Shoot me to see maybe
everybody wants to see some
of the
different.
future.
It doesn't make what you're saying credible.
See that some of the young players, because see them. That's what I want. I don't want to see the same bullshit that I've been seeing.
That's what you should say now. I think you should say that, which is a very valid point, that you want to see something different. And at this point, at this stage of the season, given everything we've been through, you just want to see something different, anything different. That's a very valid point to make.
Everybody does, but it doesn't mean
that's an entirely different thing.
That should happen, and you should just go and play the kids. Don't mean that.
Not just that. Not just that. That's an entirely different thing from saying that we have a bench. I happen to agree with Boomer.
No, but I'm talking about the players
10 million. I think 10 million euros is in pounds.
Bumbaya, you're making it out that Manchester United have had all the injuries consistently, where we've had all the injuries all season. We've had certain positions missing for periods of the season. Not everybody's been.
I don't think any team. I don't think I've been watching football. I've been watching football.
We've had a bench, and he's refused to use them. And Jarvis
that's your opinion.
I'm sorry. Let me finish. Jarvis would come in here, and one of the first things he would say is that he didn't make the substitution at the right time. He didn't change it. He just waited. So I'm sorry to make it out like Manchester United have had all the squad, last 6 of the squad injured all season. It's false.
That's not what anybody has said here.
So we've had a bench for periods in this season.
Do you just want me to repeat everything you're saying back to you? Is that? Do you want me to just repeat everything you're saying and we can just agree with each other all the time? No. What I'm saying is that, like, from my perspective, right? From my own perspective, the way I'm seeing this football, I don't think I've seen a club go through the type of injury crisis that we have gone through this season. Now, you can say that that's because Erik ten Hag ran the players into the ground and he should be sacked for that. That's possible. You can say his training methods are too intense. The players need more recovery time. That's also possible too. But I don't think it's honest or fair.
Listen,
no, I don't think. Nuruddin, let me finish now.
I don't go with those arguments. Have you ever heard me use those arguments?
No. Let me just finish. All I'm saying is that I happen to think that we've had a unique injury crisis this season.
And I'll tell you, it's not unique. Brentford, Brighton.
So that's your opinion, Nuruddin.
No, it's not.
That's your opinion.
Newcastle.
It's not a fact. It's not a fact because unique is a subjective judgment. Unique, quote unquote, is a subjective judgment. It's not a fact.
Listen, Sean. The numbers are there.
What do you want from me now, Nuruddin? Do you want me to agree with you, or you want me to give you my opinion?
The idea that you're saying Manchester United have been the only club to have injuries to this extent, it's only Manchester United.
So you disagree? You disagree? That's fine.
Brighton decimated. Brighton decimated. Brentford. There was games where Brentford had the complete back four out. There was about 3 I think.
You disagree?
All their back four out. Sorry.
Can I? Okay, you happen to disagree. That's your
That's a lie.
prerogative, right? That you disagree with me, and that's fine. I disagree with you, that's fine. We see football differently. You can't ask me to agree with everything that you're saying, right? And
It's
let me
just
let me make my
fundamental.
point.
Listen. There's an
No,
opinion and there's the fact. The fact is
there is no fact here.
Chelsea,
There is no
Newcastle,
fact here.
Brighton, Brentford, Spurs.
These are all
Decimated this season
subjective.
so by injuries.
These are even your use of the term decimated, quote unquote, is a subjective judgment, right? These are all subjective assessments that we're making. In my subjective opinion, United's injury crisis has been unique. I think it is unique when you play almost 30 different centre back combinations or back four combinations in one season. I think that's unique. I think it's unique to have the amount of injuries that we've had this season. I think we are in an unprecedented situation, and I think it's possible. I think it's legitimate to put it on Ten Hag's training methods or his overworking of the players from last season. Those are all reasonable claims to make. If you don't agree, that's fine, but that's the way I'm seeing it. I also think that, in line with what Bobani was saying, I think it makes a huge difference if we go out tomorrow with Dalot, Varane,
It's
Martinez,
not
and Luke Shaw.
tomorrow, man. Please stop telling the
On
viewers.
Sunday, sorry,
Sunday.
on
For fuck's
Sunday,
sake.
I
It's
on
Sunday.
Sunday, I think it makes a massive difference if we can line up with Dalot, Varane, Martinez, and Luke Shaw versus Dalot, Casemiro, Johnny Evans, and Wan-Bissaka. I think our style, our playing, our play, our defending, our possession, our ball control, all those spaces that you see in the midfield, all of that look different with one lineup versus the other. So I think it's definitely fair to say that it matters who we have. I also think that Casemiro, Amrabat being a 10 million euro player, 10 million euros is how much? 5 million pounds. I think Amrabat looks every bit like a 5 million pound player to me, to my eye. He looks like a low quality player who is his level is the middle of the Italian league. And he had a very fantastic World Cup. Like many players like him before and after him, they were overrated and their value and their ability was inflated. They ended up at a bigger club than they should have been, and eventually he will go back to his level. That's what I think about Amrabat. I think Ahmad also is a long
Wrap up, Sean.
is the latest. Yeah. Ahmad is the latest in the long line of greener grass on the other side, where it was Van de Beek one time, where it's just if we just play this guy, he'll be the one that will make the difference. I think we should be careful about how we manage Ahmad. Ahmad is still a very young player. He was injured for large parts of the season, and he has been given a chance to play now. Wrapping up with the game, honestly, like I've said,
That's
I don't really
factually
see
incorrect.
any.
That's factually incorrect. He's not been given a chance. He's not.
Sure,
started one
that's
game.
your opinion.
No,
That's
that's
your
a fact.
opinion.
That's a fact.
That's your
It's the
opinion.
actual fact. That's the actual fact. And by the way, Amrabat has
Did
not had
did Ten
7 or
Hag
8
tell
games.
you that?
Let me finish.
Did
7
Ten Hag
or
tell
8
you
games.
that he
I'm
was
sorry. Let me
denying
finish. Let me finish.
Ahmad a chance?
Let me
You
finish.
didn't let me finish now.
Let me finish. No, I've
You
let you
didn't let me
finish.
finish.
I've injected
No, you didn't
because
let me
you just made
finish.
it
You
unfactual.
interjected.
You are unfactual.
Okay.
Ahmad has not started one game this season. One game. So
That's
factually
the manager's
incorrect that he's been
choice.
given a chance. He's not been given a chance.
That's the manager's choice. That's the manager's choice.
Exactly. That was my original point. That was my original point.
Ahmad has been injured.
And the thing
So,
about
but
Amrabat,
you can't tell me
and the
that
thing
you
about
can't tell me that
Amrabat
the manager
is
has a
that we've not
vendetta
seen
against
him.
Ahmad
We've not
because you don't
seen
know that
him.
for a fact.
Let me finish on. We've not seen him for 7 to 8 games.
You didn't let me finish
in the
either
same
now.
position. In the same, we're not seeing him. So I can't judge
That's
from
not a
Amrabat.
standard. That's not a standard we hold for any other player. That's not just not true. That you need to give somebody X amount of
Sean,
games in
that's
your
Can
position.
I
ludicrous
come in?
because Sean, I'm
No,
sorry,
let
that's
me just finish with
ludicrous
my scoreline.
because no.
Scoreline
That's
for
unfact.
the game.
Jarvis, I'm gonna ask Jarvis a question. Jarvis, what's the standard time that I always talk about to give?
So you're looking for somebody to agree with you.
No.
Okay.
What do I always say about judging a player? How many games does a player get? How many
Of course,
times
that's
have
what you
any of
say
these
now.
have
That's
heard
your
me?
opinion.
How many players
Like,
should a player
your
get?
opinion is not.
I
Is
heard
not
you
able to
mention
judge them?
more than I would say 6 to 10 games. You have
That's
Thank
not
you.
happening.
Thank
That
you.
doesn't happen. That's
Yeah.
not happening. That will never
So
happen.
so what are we supposed to do with that, Jarvis? Like, what am I supposed to do with Nuruddin's opinion of how long a player should be given? Like,
Baseline.
what does that do for this
No.
conversation that we're having?
Listen. That's not a fact in football. That's just my opinion. For me to judge
Exactly.
a player, it's 7 to 8 games to go. Okay, this is the position you're gonna play. You got 7 games to see week in a game. picked
And
again
I'm saying
and again and
that's a
again for you
luxury
to prove
many players don't have.
And to me, of all of the years I've watched football, that's been the standard for me. So when I see players
That's a
get
luxury
given,
many people don't
no,
have.
no. It's the fact because I've watched hundreds and hundreds of interviews of footballers who talk about it takes at least to get match fit. You have to complete at least 4 90-minute games, at least for you to get match fit, where the touch and everything and the conditioning in your body
So
is there. So that's
let me
what
get
you
this
need.
right.
At
Ten
least
Hag has to earn.
4 games.
Ten Hag has to earn
Listen.
his
Sean,
job
Sean,
by
this ain't about
proving
Ten
it on a
Hag.
day-to-day.
Sean,
But
this is
the
not
player
fucking
needs to be
about Ten Hag.
given a
This
blank
is not
slate
about
of
Ten
6
Hag.
games
This is not about Ten Hag.
for you to judge him.
This is not
Okay.
about Ten Hag. This is the standard of opinion that I have after listening and reading books about players when they've gone from being injured to coming back from injury to going and getting a position.
I don't think Amrabat's problem is match fitness.
That is how I see football. That's my opinion.
Okay.
Nothing to do with Eric Ten Hag. Nothing to do with Ole Gunnar
So
Solskjaer.
you either want to only
my
hear your
opinion.
opinion.
That's my opinion.
Nugent, you either want to only hear your
I'm a
opinion
believer
or
from
you
hearing
want to have
from
a
players'
conversation.
mouths. I am a believer from hearing players' mouths that majority of players, not all players, majority of players, because I've also watched players who have in the past who can be injured for 3 months, 4 months.
Nugent,
and
do
then,
you want to
and
hear
then they
yourself
come
talk
back.
or have a
Let
conversation?
me finish the point.
You didn't let me finish now, sir. I'm not going to let you finish your points because you didn't let me finish either.
They come back.
That doesn't tell us anything. Match fitness is not a conversation we're having. Match fitness is not the conversation we're having. We're having a conversation about player quality and player ability.
Find the ultimate fitness. So that's the point.
And that's
I'm
not the
making.
consistent principle.
That's the point I'm making. So when you chat
that's
rubbish,
your opinion.
when you chat shit and tell me Ahmad has had a chance, Ahmad has not started one game. One fucking game. So tell the truth. If you're gonna speak, tell the truth.
To me, a chance is being allowed to come on in a game as a young player to show what you can contribute to the team. That also is a chance.
Manchester United are playing
that also
3
is being
players
given
who
a
are
chance.
younger than him. What are you talking about?
There are many players who
it's 20,
there are many
22
players
or
whose
23
introduction
by now.
to football was in a substitution and they showed something and they were given other chances.
Kobe Menu being played to death. Rasmus Højlund being played to death.
I don't know where you get this opinion that you're some kind of authority on football.
Sean, all of them are younger than Amad Diallo. Rasmus is younger than Amad Diallo.
That has nothing to do with anything.
No, you said a young player. They're younger than Kobe's younger than him.
You're selectively listening.
So what are you talking
you're
about?
selectively listening.
What are you talking about a young player?
And choosing to run with whatever you want.
You're absolutely waffling.
And you're screaming on top of your voice,
no, you
thinking
that
being loud makes you right.
I'm talking about factual things. Factual things.
Nothing you said has been factual at all.
Amad Diallo has not had a chance. Chance is
the only fact you've said is that Amad Diallo's name is Amad Diallo. Everything else is subjective, is your opinion. So you seem to be under this misconception that you're some kind of authority on football instead of just a fan that like the rest of us.
What does that mean when a player get given a chance? Do we not understand that as the thing being given a chance starting a game? Yes or no? Do we not mean that by the games that you start from the beginning?
No, bro.
Oh my god!
Because when Ahmad came on a couple of games ago, he made a good impact. So that warrants us to come on here and say, you know what? We liked what we saw. When Pellistri came on, we started to ask ourselves, guys should play more. Because we saw what we needed to see in 20, 30 minutes and thought he made an impact. I have never agreed that a player is going to get the luxury of 6, 7, 8, however many games you think he's going to get to say, now that's your chance to fight. Now, you don't get that in football. That to me, you don't get that. You come in.
Okay, no problem.
You come in, bro, and we either see an impact or then we bring the guy that we've been playing. You don't get that chance. Only circumstance might allow you that chance. Injuries.
Okay. No worries. Well. This is it. You've just contradicted everything the waffle you and Sean have been waffling. You've just said it. Manchester United, according to both of you, are decimated by injuries, right? Yeah. And then Ahmad is not even getting a chance when the club's decimated by injuries. This is the waffle that you both waffle. For me, when a player get given a chance, means that you actually get entrusted to start a game from minute one. You start the game. You come on for certain games. You've proven that you've made an impact. Then you get given a chance to start games. That is what is given a chance. You start off the next 2 or 3, and then you see him. The idea that you guys think that player, and you know what a perfect player was? The way Mourinho, who never wanted Fred, treated Fred. Fred will come on here in a game.
I'll give you an example.
Let me finish. Fred then will get subbed off. Fred then will always be the first to be subbed off.
You never let anyone finish.
Listen to me. Fred was taking off.
I'm here to terrorize you.
Let me finish.
Torment your
Fred
statement
was taking off
by jumping in and saying the relevant stuff.
Fred was taking up at halftime.
I'm watching Commander right now, and Arnold Schwarzenegger looks really great.
Came in, gave Fred 7 to 8 games in a row in his position, and then Fred, we saw bits from Fred. Ollie came in, gave Fred 7 to 8 games, not just taking him off 90 minutes after 90 minutes.
Bro, let me say one thing.
And then we saw the player that we saw.
Ole liked Fred. Ole saw something in Fred that he liked. He didn't want to play Matic, and he played the person he wanted to.
Donny, do you remember?
Your waffle is even giving me
a headache
than I already had.
You're the person giving yourself a headache, Nuruddin, because you choose to scream and impose your opinion on others instead of trying to have a conversation.
It's just unbelievable.
Do you remember when we had Donny van de Beek here, and I said to you,
yeah, he was the one I was going to save our midfield,
and I said no. It didn't take me 6-7 games. It took me half an hour to say, right, there's something there, but I wouldn't play him. He's not ready. You kept saying he's going to play. He's going to play. He needs a football playing manager. Erik ten Hag had him, and you've been calling for him and pining for him. I said to you, I'd looked at him. He's not for us. Although I really like him, it's not going to work. Look what happened with him. So my point to you here is, when you say
what happened with him? The kid wanted to get away. Manchester United is scumpered his career. I don't want to go over it. The evidence is there. The evidence is there. He wanted to go to Real Sociedad in Spain. The club said no because they didn't want to pay his wages, but they're happy to pay Sanchez's wages.
Can I interject?
Not playing him. Tell you
everything
you need to know, bro.
Can I interject with that? The main reason why the likes of Donny van de Beek, for example, was not I would say fit Man United in the way we wanted to play. It's because Erik ten Hag abandoned his way of playing football. No. So everything that that's
but the Beek wasn't playing on that Ole either.
If you look at either.
No, because you're playing in the Premier League. So that's the difference. You're playing in the Premier League, not the system. You have to look at the league you're playing in and how you adapt. And if you don't,
let me finish. I'm not done with my point. The reason why I'm saying this is because if you look at the type of players
you're giving me a headache.
Listen.
I'm being nerd in here.
Listen. Okay. On a more serious note, guys. The reason he brought these players to play possession-based football. For example, Anton.
No. Let's go, please. I don't want to do the Donny van de Beek thing. I don't want to do it. He's not a Manchester United.
No,
everybody knows what happened. Everybody knows the reality of what happened.
I wanna move away from that.
Move away from that. Don't talk about Donny.
Yeah, I wanna move away from that. With regards to even never mind Donny and all of these guys, I'm just gonna make this clear. I want us to reach a general consensus on this one. Did ten Hag use his bench or not at Ajax? Ever since he's been there,
I don't watch Ajax. I don't.
He hardly was. If you ask all the Ajax, I've watched Ajax for 3 years. He hardly uses his bench. And he has never been good at making tactical substitutions. Now, we're going back to the point of Man United. Even with, do you trust the fact that even if we have a strong bench...
For facts, listen, to be fair, to be objective, last season he made good tactical substitutions and they either ended up setting up goals or scoring the goals. Last season he did. He brought on Fred loads of time to close out the game. Tactically, his substitutions last season were a lot better. That's me being objective. You see, I could just say things and go, because I'm Eric Ten Hag out, that this season, zilch, it's been the opposite. Every time he brings a sub on, we get worse and worse. But go ahead.
Yeah. So he's not really like, for example, that was possibly like one, if not out of how many times he's actually made those kind of substitutions. Now the thing is, the problems I have with him is that he'll keep starting the same type of players. You look at Ahmed. Ahmed has been back since December, so I'm not trying to hear this thing that he was not fit. He's been back since December. That's an actual fact. It's been reported, and he also said that he trains well. So now what are we doing here? Because if he says he's training well, and then he says Sanchez not playing well, and Sanchez not starting because he's not training well, so what are we doing? So for me, that's a contradiction. That tells me that exactly what we've been saying, that there's favorites in this team, and even if he has a bench, there's certain players who are guaranteed to start regardless of how they play. You understand? So for me, the squad utilization is always going to be a problem. We go into next season, the Premier League is the hardest league. So his training regime, accompanied by the fact that he hardly rotates, is going to actually cause more injuries. It's going to cause more harm than good anyways in the long run. You look at our injuries, the reason why a lot of our players is muscular injuries. It's fatigue. It's fatigue injuries. These players do play, like, essentially plays players to the ground, like he plays them to the ground. So like for me, that already I can't see him changing that. He doesn't want to change that personally.
I wonder who predicted
No,
that. I wonder
that's
who
not
predicted
right.
that. I
Because
wonder who
a lot of
No,
these
but that's
injuries
true.
are not
I wonder
muscular
who
injuries.
predicted that. Jarvis, now
Yeah,
listen,
they're
I
muscular.
want to let Jarvis come in.
No, they're
I
not.
wonder who predicted that. Me and Jarvis sat
they're
here
not.
and predicted that from
You
January.
check, bro. They're
Martial,
not.
From
check
January,
Martial,
predicted that.
check
Martial,
check
I don't want to hate.
Martial,
No,
check
I
all
got
these other
Martial.
guys.
Martial, bro's been injured for 10 years. Forget that. But Mason Mount is not muscular. Luke Shaw is not muscular. Leacher is not muscular. Check him
Luke Shaw
yourself.
wasn't muscular. Luke
No,
Shaw wasn't.
Luke Shaw is muscular. Is muscular. Luke Shaw is
Luke
muscular.
Shaw this season has
It's
had
muscular.
muscular problems. Has had
Yeah.
muscular injuries this season. He has.
Mm.
He has had muscular. I don't know what this next injury that he had was, but this season, some of the games he's missed due to Loxer. Jarvis, you have the last word of the show. Go ahead.
Yeah, I just made a comment here about the players, and they need game time. Some players you can't see in 1 or 2 games if they're good enough. It takes time to acclimatize to Man United, and we have had many players in our history like Patrice Evra, Nemanja Vidic, David De Gea, Andy Cole, great players, club legends who weren't working at least for 6 months before they suddenly came through as a player. So giving a player time is essential if you want them to succeed. We can't just try them once and throw them in the bin. It's not how it works. So for me, I would love players to be given more chances than just a couple of games. They need a cameo of games to succeed. If you want them to succeed, if you want them to give them the right environment, if we believe in them, in the money we spend on the players and signing them. So that's just my 2 pence on that matter. What was the next question, Nuruddin?
So it was just
but Jarvis, those guys were signed as first team
tomorrow.
players now. They were signed as starters.
Sunday,
Everyone was signed as a starter. So was Vidic. He was signed as a starter.
Was Vidic signed as a starter? Really, January signing?
Yeah, he was
from Serbia.
He was.
No, I don't think so.
We were rotating through a number of centre back pairings with Ferdinand and a couple of other people, and Vidic was brought essentially to pair with Ferdinand, and he was given the time. I think you can liken it to Højlund, who was brought as the starter and was given a chance basically, even though his form dipped throughout the season. The same thing goes for Anthony. Now you can call Anthony the manager's favorite, but the manager is, to an extent, giving some players the opportunity to see themselves through, to play themselves into form. He did the same thing for Onana. He's not doing it for Ahmad. That's his prerogative. I wish Ahmad would play more, personally. But like, I don't. This idea that Ahmad would make the difference in a team that is just playing.
It's not about fucking difference. It's not about nobody.
Okay, it's about seeing something different. It's about seeing something different for seeing something different.
Seeing the same shit game by game,
Okay.
especially when you match play and you go to the fucking stadium and you see the same shit week on by week, and we're getting slapped anyway, or we're getting outplayed anyway. That I wouldn't mind any of these things. That Manchester United were challenging for big trophies.
Yeah,
And
I
actually,
don't
and let
disagree
me
with you.
finish.
I
Let
don't
me
disagree
finish,
with you
please.
on that.
Let me finish. If
You
some of
didn't
these
let me
players were
finish.
playing
You didn't let me
incredible,
finish.
and that they were keeping the players out, and that
I
they
don't
just
I
kept
don't disagree with you at all.
performing, I would understand that. I'm thinking, you know what? Don't change your winning team. Don't change a team that's playing so well together. You know, if an injury comes, you get in. But other than that, that plays. But Jarvis, as you know, me and you sat here from January last season and predicted it. I predicted it exactly what would happen. And I told everybody and their nan, and everybody called me negative because I saw it happen to Liverpool when they went for 4 trophies. And I said, the fact that there is, I didn't just say United, I said there'll be a lot of injuries because the first time in football in history, in December, there was a World Cup. And that hangover from that and the way that, because they changed the whole footballing schedule, and it was the most craziest football schedule in the history of world football, that players will be injured. And I was proven right. Not that because I've got a magnifying glass to the future. I've just watched enough football to know what the fuck would happen. When you burn players out, they're low likely. A lot of the things that injury comes from is fatigue. The impact, the impact injuries are part of the game. Remember Donny, the impact last season, he had an impact injury. The guy came to the back of him. He knocked up his ankle or knee, whatever it was. Ericsson, what the guy used to play for Newcastle, the big striker did to him.
Andy Carroll. All
Andy
the
Carroll.
scissor tackles.
Yeah, the scissor tackle. So
same happened to Garnacho.
Exactly. So the impact is totally different from actual fatigue level of injuries. And the clearest example in modern day football, it was Liverpool. I saw them go for 4 trophies, take every 3 finals to the last, 3 finals and the league to the last day.
You want to have it both ways. You want to have it both ways. You want to say that you were right since January last season. At the same time, you want to pretend like the injury crisis isn't unique.
No,
right? You want to say that you were right to say that Ten Hag will burn out the players. But at the same time, this burnout that we're seeing now isn't
that's
unique.
why I have no sympathy for it. That's why, because as an amateur, as somebody
which
who
is
just
fair,
lives in Hume in a city
but don't pretend like this is not an extraordinary situation.
If I can see it, if I can predict it, what the fuck is he doing when he's getting paid that amount of money? That's the problem that I don't see. But anyway, people, I only wanted to do an hour because I'm not being well, but it's just the way people are just absolutely trying to tell a total story on what the season has been. Facts that Ahmad has not been given a chance. He actually, Ten Hag, in the press conference after press conference after press conference, said how well he's been training, how well he's been doing, but he didn't give him a chance and goes, yeah, I suppose he deserves a chance. That's not a chance. When you start a game, you get given a chance. Coming on, you get a sneak, you get a little sneak, but a chance is when you start a game. I'm sick of seeing the same bullshit players play and the same thing, and I'm like, I want to see something different. So for me, in the last 3 games of the league, right, I don't think Manchester United are even, unless you guys want to see them in the Conference Cup. I'm not asked about Europe or any of that. So I rather see a couple of young players, like we always see. On the Ollie, we saw a couple of young players. 16, remember, Jose gave 16-year-old, what's his name? I forgot. 16-year-old, the Portuguese lad. No, he played for England, actually. Portuguese heritage for England.
Gomez.
Short,
I think
really
we have
short.
a...
Gomez. Yeah,
Gomez.
Angel Gomez. So, the last 2-3 games at home, though, the last 2 games at home, I want to see youngsters give it, because I'm not asked about a result.
Yeah, we have a trophy on the line. I want to see us try and build towards a strong season finish. Get everybody back in the team, get your players back, get the team spirit up, get the dressing room in a good place, and try and lift something, try and make something out of a terrible season.
I would be all for
that's
youth players, Dino, but I'm just afraid that, let's say, brings them in on Sunday, and it's an absolute 5-6-0. I don't want to see that.
I'm sorry, Bombay. We've held 7. We've conceded 6. We
conceded 4.
No.
It don't mean you want to hold another 6.
Listen, save me all that. I don't care.
If these players hold 6,
I don't care.
No, I do.
6 at the Etihad, 7 at Anfield, 4 away at Crystal Palace,
bro, we
3
know
this season
that.
against Bournemouth. So I'm not bothered about scorelines anymore. I just want to go and see something different. I want to see different tactics. I want to see 3 maybe played in midfield. I want to see maybe a couple of young players come in. That's what I want to see.
I'm going to respectfully walk past you with my head down. Okay.
Yeah, no problem. No problem. That's an opinion. You see something different. Manchester United have been slapped, whacked, dunked, whatever, right? So I'm not asked about what goals we concede now. I'm not bothered about those things.
I'm asked about a young lad being involved in a whacking like that. It's not like Kobe Mainu. It'd be a shame for him to be on the end of a 5, 6, 7. Do you understand what I mean?
No.
Okay,
listen,
that's the difference.
Listen, it's a learning curve for me when you get whacked. You have to think what the club is, what the manager is, and where we are as a football club, and you put that into context. For me, I actually think that this idea of like bad when you concede goals, ruining young players, I actually think you learn when you fail in football. You learn when you fail. There's been loads of books, that autobiographies of footballers and managers, and they tell you, I actually learn more from my failures than I learn from my victories. That's just global stuff.
You learn when you fail, except your Ten Hag.
Listen,
okay.
Listen, Ten Hag has not learned fuck all. Absolute fuck all. This season, he's learned fuck all, stuck with a single pivot, and the wide spaces we get exposed week in, week out. I remember running here from the game week 1, saying, what the fuck was that? I ran back here, game week 3 or 4, Nottingham Forest, 10 men, ripping Manchester United to shreds. They had 10 men, and the last 15 minutes, we've got 11 players at Old Trafford.
You're talking to someone who wrote up the season 5 games into the season.
We're holding up for our dear life, and I'm like, what the fuck is this? And it's not changed. It's not.
Do you all do scoreline predictions and finish?
No scoreline predictions. well, go ahead, Bumpy. Go ahead, knock yourself out.
Bro, I swear, if we do 3-1, I'll be all right with 3-1. But I don't know. It could get messy.
Okay. Well, to me, I said they're shit if they don't win by at least 3 goals. That's me. I think they're shit if they don't win by 3 goals at least. Arsenal. That's me bantering the Arsenal fans a bit. That if you don't score but 3 goals, when Bournemouth come to Old Trafford and made us help 3, and it could have been 5 or 6 in that game. Just remind you all, 5 or 6 in that game. They hit the post, they hit the bar. Onana made actually 2 good saves in that game. So yeah, that just tells it. So for me, I'm not expecting zilch. I just want to go there and hopefully to see something different. But if not, I'll be back here on Sunday fucking night, and I'll be telling the truth about everything about that fucking fraud catfish.
One thing you're going to see, brother, is goals.
Well, yeah. If Arsenal have to go for it. So I'm just hoping that Fulham get a draw tomorrow, but I doubt it. I think City's league to lose. But anyway, please comment, let us know if you agree, disagree, if Ahmed has had a chance this season. If you disagree that just Ten Hag just talking about injuries. I'm not talking about the way his system's set up. I've repeated it again and again, and none more than so that Gary Neville exposed him to his face and literally said, "This is what we do. This is how you block up the gaps. You close the gaps by getting players together, come together, attack and defend together." And he didn't have no answer. He just kept going back to the fucking bullshit injuries again. So let us know. Let us know, because he's begging for his job right now. It's interesting, Jarvis. You said he doesn't care, but then he's saying that he doesn't. He said they have no sense or something if they sack him or whatever. So at the end of the day, it is what it is. I'm not expecting fuck off from this season. I didn't have that many expectations anyway, but I did not think we would play as bad and would be open and be so clear to even be worse set up than Sunday league teams. I didn't think that he had it in him, but he has. So peace, love, light. Looks like you've cured my headache, guys. Well done. I've been taking painkillers, and now, for the first time, I don't have that massive cloud over my head. So big up to Therapy Army. So you come to the therapy channel, you get your headaches cleared. You get your headache. You get giving headache as well, but you have your headache cleared. So it is what it is. But we'll be back hopefully on Sunday night with the rest of the gang for the match. I'm going to go to the game, so I'm going to do maybe around 9 o'clock. If any of you guys are available, please let me know.
Do you know, Nuruddin,
then
just this quick suggestion, bro, on the back of a comment there. Maybe you should get a Nice fan on who has had the Ineos experience to tell us what they found as fans. If you could, might be
yeah. We can sort that out, no problem. But I've already read about what's happened and where they are this season, and everybody was telling me Ineos. When they begin 3 months of the season, I think they were second or third, and now last time I checked,
they qualified for Europe today, and they're 1 point behind Champions League, so they're still in the race.
They're fifth or sixth. Are they sixth today? Did they finish sixth? Where are they? Sixth in the table.
Sixth or fifth, but they qualify for Europa League at least, and I think they're 1 point behind the Champions League next season.
Let's find out now. I'm looking at it now. So Nice are fifth. Yeah, they're fifth. They've had 54 points. They played 32 games, won 15, drawn 9, lost 8, 437 against 25, goal difference of 12. So they've had a better season than us, yeah?
Yeah.
They've had a better season than us. That's where
the only hope, Nuruddin, on Sunday is that the players will rise to the occasion. And we have seen it before when we have been down. When we played Liverpool, everybody expected a beating, but they can actually do it. And I know it's slim, but that's our only hope, that the players will rise to the occasion and show up. But
we'll see.
That's the thing with this team. You never know. It's like Jekyll and Hyde.
We'll see about that. Well, to me, actually, this season against the top teams, who beat us? City beat us. Who else beat us at home? Spurs. We drew with Spurs. We drew with Liverpool.
We won against Villa. Won against Chelsea.
We won against Villa and Chelsea. Yeah.
So it's not too bad against the top 6, but yeah.
Well, we were lucky to draw against Spurs. Let's be right here. We got absolutely torn apart. Villa. It was the best 45 minutes we played this season. My favorite 45 minutes this season. And then, Liverpool was just a Liverpool, innit? It was a Liverpool. They bottled it, if you ask me.
Yeah.
We're gonna get off anyway. But bro, we'll give you the last word of the show. Go ahead.
Not really looking forward to the game. All I want, like we said, is just us trying to keep the scoreline down. Personally, I think we might as well field the youngsters. I don't want Conference League. I'm not gonna watch that. So I'm just not gonna do that to myself. But besides that, I think we should just spend the rest of the season trying to save players for the final, because at this point I think they might just get injured again. Before that final, so we might as well just rest some of them. But you never know; they could even get injured in training as well. So it's a lose-lose situation, So
big up,
So
big up, bro. Appreciate you. People, please check out Let's Go Football TV and Black Rain on Twitter at Black Rain. Java Skoko Bowley 77 Bumbaya. You don't see him on social media. Go and check out at Sean Thomas on Twitter at Sean Thomas. And then a podcast, geopolitical podcast, is How We See Things across all platforms where podcasts are run. It's a structure. There you go on Twitter. Please smash a like on the video because we're shadow banned and we demonetized because we shout for the Palestinians. And we shout for the people who are oppressed and we shout against imperialism, colonization, and racism, and that's what we shout against. And we stand against everybody who is standing up to that and against that. So solidarity and love to the Palestinians who are getting genocided as we speak right now, and we stand in love and solidarity with the people of Sudan and the Congo and the Tigray region in Ethiopia and the Ogaden region in East Africa as well. So wherever people are oppressed, especially those who are resisting military and dictatorships of the US and the West, because they are dictatorships. It's democracy for Western countries internally, but dictatorship for the rest of the world in the way they move. So this is the bit you have to understand. Dictatorship in the ways that they want to dominate and control all the countries in different parts of the world. But we say it with our chest, fuck fucking Zionism for what it is. The racist, brutal, genocidal ideology that it is. And we say free Palestine with our fucking full-on chest, and free everybody who's oppressed, regardless where they are in the world. Peace, love, light. Fuck off fucking Glazers. Fuck Jim the Rat Radcliffe as well, because he's not showing me fuck all. So until you start proving me wrong and showing me and actually proving to me that you're doing things to benefit this fucking club, then you can fuck off, because you're in it. You've kept the Glazers on, and I will always stand on that. And Glazers out. Glazers fucking out. They don't give a fuck about this football club. They've never give a fuck about this football club. So Glazers out. And I genuinely don't believe that they can, 25% can make huge changes in this football club. And they have to come out and say if they're going to sell to this rat that's kept them there. But let us know in the comments. And then, sorry, before we go, Jarvis, just to let you know about Jarvis. Jarvis Corner, Monday night, 9 o'clock.
Yep.
On Man UFC Realist TV, so make sure you check him out on there. It's really a good show.
Yeah, we try to bring in interesting guests, and on Monday we had Charlie Savage's uncle, Jonathan Savage, on as a guest. So very insightful guests with a lot of knowledge. So check it out if you like good footballing talk.
Big up Charlie Savage. He told the truth about Manchester United and Reading's training grounds. He said Reading has a better training ground than Manchester United. That's all you need to know about your fucking football club.
Wow.
Peace, love, light. Take care. Good night, guys.